What's it, guys? So I know I'm a little late to the party, but today we're going to be installing a massive elbow tip on the 6-liter. Look at this freaking thing. Holy crap, it is absolutely gigantic. Now, currently we have the tried and true clean and classy setup. 5-inch straight pipe, 7-inch tip. Looks great, sounds great. No real complaints. But I've always wanted to do a big elbow, and so I finally pulled the trigger on it. Holy crap. This thing is going to look absolutely amazing. Now, we do have a couple different possibilities on how we want to angle it, whether it's coming out kind of like the factory exhaust or push it out, turn it up for that sporty look. We'll just have to see how we end up liking it. We can play around with it and do it multiple different ways. But I'm also very curious to see if the sound changes by doing such a long exhaust tip. So I say we start there, crank this thing up, get a couple before clips. That way we can compare those to the after. Well, I guess our bolt completely vibrated loose and fell off, but thankfully the tip didn't. She's nice and stuck on there, so let's grab the hammer, get this baby off. Nice. Why do I kind of like it with just the pipe down there? It looks kind of dirty. I kind of like it, but we'll keep that in mind for sure. Let's go ahead, grab our big boy and just slide it on there and see how it would fit, kind of configured around just as the pipe is right there. And of course, it is the nastiest, dreary day possible. Dude. What are we saying, y'all? Why is that kind of perfect? Some people are gonna absolutely hate that. I don't know, this is kind of like the common thing going around TikTok right here, turning them up like this. That was so simple, it just went on and it's perfect. Now, will that inevitably cook the paint on our bumper? Possibly, which I definitely don't want to do. That's pretty dirty. Let me know if we don't end up with that. Should we come back to that? I'm gonna go get some tools and we'll start adjusting our pipe farther up. Actually, I might not have to adjust it. We might just end up having to cut it. So I just scooted all the way in, rotated it down, and it's pretty much perfectly flat, sticking out just a touch farther, but honestly, not bad. Oh, dude. Oh my gosh, that might be freaking her. Holy crap. Well, we're gonna play around with it both ways. I thought this was gonna be a big ordeal having to adjust things and cut it and all kind of crap. What are we saying? Should we have gone bigger? This is a 6. So that tip is a 7. This is a 5 to 6. That's a 5 to 7. They make a 5 to 8 big chungus, which we might end up having to go to if y'all think we should. But dude, that actually is pretty freaking nasty. Now, if we look in here, our pipe does go all the way to right there, which that's not a big deal. That should be fine. And we can actually, are we all the way to the bracket? That's what it is. So we're all the way up to there, the hanger. So we really couldn't go any farther than that. Dude, that looks pretty freaking dirty. All right, well, let's get our clamp. Let's clamp this thing on there and we'll listen to it. So I got underneath the truck and I found a couple of issues where we can't necessarily run the tip the way that I just showed y'all, which was super clean, but I also really like the way that I just positioned it here. So if we take a little look. Okay. I know not everybody's gonna love that, but that's freaking dirty, okay? So I think that's how we're gonna leave it for the time being. But the problem with the other way is, for one, if we push it all the way up to there, we can't put the clamp on. Now, we could weld it on there, but I don't really want to do that today because I'm not so in love with it in that position that I think we'll want to keep it there forever. And then the other thing that I found was our freaking hanger it's not resting on our leaf spring, but when you hit bumps, it hits that. So we definitely want to go ahead and grab the Sawzall, or actually we'll take the hammer and we'll knock that guy down if we can. It's pretty freaking thick, but I'm digging this right here. That's pretty freaking dirty. Now, this should probably be, you know, for a truck that maybe makes twice the horsepower that this one does, to run a rowdy exhaust tip like that. We're leaving it, boys. That's staying on there. Go ahead and slide our tip on there with our clamp, which is hopefully going to be able to be tightened down enough to hold this big old thing on there. We want it like that. That looks crazy from y'all's angle. So, does that look like it's just crooked instead of actually like supposed to be angled up? Does that look like it's just not level? Just for the sake of trying, let's see how far we can. So if we wanted it level, actually, that is what we could do. It sticks out a little far for my liking, but that's as far up as we could do it with the clamp on there. Unless, no, because if I adjust up top, if we adjust up top, where we pull the whole pipe up, that hanger is still going to be in that same spot, right? Yeah, we can't pull that any farther back. I guess I'm going to keep playing around with this thing until I figure out exactly where I like it, and then I'll catch up with y'all for a nice little cold start. Sounds crazy. All right, here's what we're working with, boys. I honestly love it. I think it looks freaking disgusting. I know it's not gonna be for everyone, but got the old 360 up. Let's see if we can get some good footage, see how this thing sounds. Holy freaking crap, it definitely made a difference, and I'm not just hyping it up because we changed it and I want it to make a difference. It actually sounds a whole lot better when driving the truck. Maybe a little less Chewbacca war cry than with the standard 7-inch tip, but dude, you hear it so much better through the passenger window now. Dude, it sounds so freaking good. Before you could of course hear the exhaust, but you heard a ton more engine. And I guess now that we got the tip kind of angled up where it's throwing that sound out instead of down,
Dude, it sounds so incredibly good. I hope the 360 camera came through good. It's so funny, every time I drive this, I have flashbacks to high school when Noah owned the truck and we were good friends and we were constantly driving this thing everywhere, and we'd go to B-dubs like 2-3 times a freaking week. And I just couldn't get over how clanky and loud this truck was. Like the engine, like you just heard it and I was like, oh man, that thing sounds gross. And now I'm just like, I get it. And the tip doesn't stick out past the tire, so we're not gonna smack it on anything. And I checked it just a minute ago and it hadn't drooped down any. We'll tighten it back up once we get home. But that might be where she's gonna freaking stay, boys. Might just be, but we're gonna get a little pull in right here, and then we gotta get some outside clips to see how it changed from out there. Get a couple more revs and whatnot. But I'm pretty freaking stoked with it. Gosh, that trash truck is so loud. I don't want to waste a rip with all the noise going by, because, you know, on your 6-liter, you've got a certain amount of rips. You've only got a certain amount. Once you pass that threshold, you go into the shop. All right, let's rip by here. Right now? Are we kidding? Oh my gosh! Now I feel like it's pretty easy for me to say this because I've had good experience with this 6-liter truck up until this point. I haven't had any issues, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that remains the case. But dude, this truck is so freaking sick. Like it really is just absolutely disgusting. It's so much fun. To say, man, other than the fact that you need to go buy a 6-liter, point blank period. It's gonna give you some dad lore and hopefully not absolutely obliterate your bank account. Just listen to this freaking thing. It almost masks the sound some. If you're over here, it's pretty quiet. When you creep around this corner, y'all definitely drop a comment and let me know what you think about the new elbow tip. Turned up, looking absolutely disgusting. It's not hard to tell, I'm sure, by watching this video. Your boy is loving it, dude. It sounds so freaking good. You can hear it better from the inside. It's a change up and it looks cool. And since this truck does sit low, like you don't see it hanging down. If this truck was lifted or something, or you get way freaking down here, lay on your belly, yeah, that looks a little wonky, not gonna lie. But from the just rear perspective, which is this right here, oh, dude, that's freaking nasty. The truck does have a tinge of awkwardness to it, and I think it's because the butt is still sitting high. Is that it, y'all? Is that it? Should we go lower in the back or go up in the front? I don't even know. I need to ask Noah. I'm sure he doesn't remember what leveling kit this truck has. If you can spot it, let me know. I have no idea. I haven't done any research on it or whatever, but yeah. Obviously, we did the shot. We've done everything. This truck had just a leveling kit and then a muffler delete from the old exhaust shop. Like I said, drop a comment. Let me know. Do you think this is absolutely gaudy and ridiculous, or do you think it is downright nasty?
I'm leaning on nasty right now, but tomorrow I might come out to the truck and be like, dude, that's freaking gaudy. That looks terrible. Let's take it off. Probably not, but you never know. But as of today, right now in this moment, I'm loving it. Looks great, sounds great. It's a nice change of pace. Anytime you can do an exhaust video, man, can't go wrong with that.